You know, I gotta say, over the years, being an introvert has definitely made it harder to make friends and even just talk to people in public in situations where I need to talk to people. It's a struggle that definitely took me a long time to overcome, and even still, I haven't totally overcome it. Sometimes I really just am afraid to talk to people. And then there's also putting in the effort to leave my house to actually talk to people. But I know that it's certainly not useful for my life if I'm alone all the time and not building strong relationships with people I've never met before, because that is where true lasting fulfillment and happiness is going to come from. Yes, they even did a study on this.
The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period.
Social anxiety as an introvert is crippling. It's gonna keep you from fully developing yourself, and you're gonna have less opportunities because of it. So I wanna share with you what's helped me get over my social anxiety as an introvert and how I've learned to conversate better. Okay, I'm about to go bike to get some groceries, and while I'm in the grocery store, I'm gonna ask people some questions about social anxiety, or just try to get to talk to them in some way. Really don't wanna do this, to be honest, but I've done it before, and I'll do it for the YouTube and show you guys, you know, you can conquer social anxiety. Okay, so the approach, actually getting yourself to go up and talk to someone, to make that leap. This is the most overwhelming, scary part, not even actually talking to the person, because all of these thoughts rush into your head like, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I embarrass myself? What if this person doesn't like me? And that's the exact type of thing that's gonna paralyze you. The more that you think about doing this thing, the less likely you are to actually go up and do it. When you have the opportunity to talk to someone and you don't want to overthink it, I recommend that you initiate the 5-second rule. This is something that I learned from the book The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, but essentially the definition of this is that the moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will stop you. If you want to know the actual science as to how and why the 5-second rule works, you can pick up the book yourselves. I'm not going to go over that in this video, but let me try to explain this to you from a story from freshman year in college. When I was in college, my freshman year, I knew literally nobody because I went to the University at Albany. I'm from Buffalo, New York. The only person I really knew was my roommate, and I had just met him too. So if I wanted to make friends at this school, I had to put myself out there. What seemed like the best way for me to do this was the dining hall. Basically, I would go down there and go through the line to get my food, and I'd start scoping out the place, seeing who's sitting down and seeing who seemed friendly enough. Once I had my food, I knew I only had a few seconds to make my decision before my brain stopped me. So I had to get over this fear without thinking and just push myself to go up to a table of people that I didn't know and ask to sit with them. And so I counted down in my head, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I just did it. And I'd go up to them and I asked them, "Do you guys mind if I sit with you?" And I never once, when I did that, got rejected. No one said no to me. All right, we're here outside the grocery store. Let's get it. And the more I started to do this, because I did this quite often, the easier that it would get. Now, I didn't become like lifelong friends with most of these people. Honestly, after the conversation I had with them in the dining hall, a lot of them, I would not talk to them again, but I had made a lot of close friends using that method. This is something you need to prime yourself to do, to stop thinking about the thing of going up and approaching people and instead overriding your body by using the 5-second rule and pushing yourself into action. It's going to be hard at the start. This is a common theme you're going to see through this video, but practice. You need to practice this. Another thing I tell myself just for more reassurance before I actually go into these types of situations is a lot of the things that I talk about on this channel. If I go up to this person or people, what actually happens? Really think about that. At the very most, you're gonna mess up somehow and these people are gonna laugh at you, but then they will not remember that interaction for the rest of their day. The only one that will still be thinking about the interaction after it happens is you. And you need to start reframing how you view rejection, because what rejection really is just a way to build up your strength and confidence to get rejected more often in the future, and eventually you're gonna become tough as steel that every time you do this, it's gonna feel like nothing to you. All right, so we've done it. We've gotten past step one. We're here with this person or these people. Now, what the hell do we say? The problem is that people have this all backwards. They think that in order to come off as likable or interesting, you need to be the one that's doing the most conversating. But it is the complete opposite. The best conversationalists are the best listeners.
Do you ever get social anxiety?
Yeah.
No.
No, you don't?
No.
What advice do you have to people who like get bad social anxiety, like people who wouldn't be willing to like do what I'm doing, go up to people and talk to them?
I put on like a little bit of a face just to do it, and it's like a little bit of acting, because it's like once I fit into that persona, like it just makes my life a lot easier.
While in conversations as a teenager, I always used to think, what is the next thing that I'm gonna say? I need to think about the next thing I'm gonna say so I appear interesting, instead of actually just listening to what that person was talking about when I was trying to think about what I'm gonna say next. And that's where the secret lies. If you've ever been in a great conversation and you just came out of it, you might have thought to yourself, wow, that person is a great conversationalist and they're so interesting. And guess what that person did? For the most part, they just asked you questions.
You're saying kind of like a fake it till you make it type of thing?
Kind of like a fake
you
it
just
till you
gotta
make it.
act like you want to be that person who is sociable.
As humans, we absolutely love talking about yourselves. If you can get someone to talk about themselves more, then it's more likely that you're gonna have a good conversation and they're gonna like you more. So what you need to do is develop an awareness of what is this person saying and how can I build off of what this person is saying so I can ask a good question to them that gets them to talk about themselves more, because as introverts, we don't want to talk that much, right? And you don't have to talk that much in order to get people to like you and in order to have friends.
Do one small thing that challenges you a little bit. So whether that's like going in to get your coffee and ordering with a person versus ordering on the app ahead of time so you can just pick it up. The thing that really helped me was like, I'm gonna go to a bar and just go out alone and see what happens. You know, this is a cool event. I wanna go because I'm interested. I think it's exciting.
Okay, but the problem might be just actually knowing how to initiate the conversation first. For me, I just usually start off with something really basic, and that in turn leads to better conversations.
I literally started sweating during that. I'm rusty. Okay, but like to be fair, it is hot in here.
In the example of people in my dining hall in my freshman year, this was good for me because we all had something in common. We were all going to college. So what I would kind of start off with, spark it up, is just like really basic questions. You know, why do you go to this school? What are you studying? What are you trying to do? Hobbies, interests, stuff like that. And that usually leads them down a different path where you can start more conversations, and then you guys can realize, oh, maybe we have more in common than we think. And that's when you guys start linking up and like you actually become friends.
All right, I finished grocery shopping, but I only asked one person in there. I feel like I gotta push myself to do at least one or two more people. Can't stop there. Question is, how am I gonna do this?
This is not to say that you should never talk about yourself too, because if you're literally just asking questions, that's gonna come off a little weird. So when you have some input to say about something, then say it. Like, give your opinion on something. Eventually, this is gonna lead into deeper conversations naturally, but remember to listen to them.
I'm shooting a video for YouTube, and I'm trying to ask people questions. Okay, no, you don't want to be in the video? Okay, thank you.
Other small things that are gonna help when you're in an actual conversation is a lot of what I went over in my Why People Don't Respect You video, which is like the type of body posture and the way that you actually carry yourself. Having a very open posture and not playing with your hands or keeping your hands in your pockets and just becoming vulnerable to them will subconsciously affect the conversation to the point where they feel like they can open up to you because you are omitting such an open body language. And as for eye contact, that's also something you need to practice on, is keeping eye contact with someone. With women, you want to keep eye contact pretty much the entire time, 100% of the time, if not 95%. And with men, you want to do a little bit less than that. That's what I've learned from what I've studied.
I'd say like just be open to talking to new people as opposed to just like being afraid to.
What do you think they should do if they are afraid? Like, how do they get over that?
Honestly, just say have an open mind. That's all I can think of.
All right, thanks, man.
Now, even after all this, not every person that you talk to is going to have stuff in common with you, and you guys just aren't going to get along, and that's totally okay. This is why rejection and failures are inevitable, because you're not going to get along with everyone that that you talk to. But like I said, it really does not matter as long as you got over your fear of social anxiety. But what helps more than anything that I talked about in this video is just practicing. You have to put yourself out there more if you want to become better at talking to people. How do you get better at talking to people? You talk to people more. You need to make this a habit, a daily routine. If you can talk to one stranger per day or one stranger per every other day, and you get out of your house and do that, no matter if it's a cashier, no matter if it's a random person on the street, no matter if it's, I don't know, it just needs to be another stranger. Just one a day will naturally make you so much more confident with talking with anybody. Thank you to all the patrons on this channel on Patreon. This is a platform where I'm putting out exclusive videos, blog posts, and podcasts that can't be found anywhere else. If you are interested in that, the link is in the description. It's patreon.com/Cole Hastings. And that is it for this video. Let me know your tips for conquering social anxiety as well in the comments. If you have any, let me know your thoughts on the video. And that's gonna be it, and that is it. I'm gonna say it again. Okay, yeah. Have a good rest of your day or night.